Hello again. 87 Rabbits, Mitch back here. Been a little bit since I've done one of these. I was really kind of racking my brain trying to figure out what I even wanted to talk about, because like I said, with this pandemic going on, not really going out and doing a whole lot. That's been on my mind, but I didn't really want to talk about that. Wanted to have a little something more positive than what we're all kind of going through right now to talk about. And it's been Hanami season here, and for anyone who doesn't know what that is, Hanami comes from the word hana, meaning flower, mi, to look, to see. So Hanami is sort of like flower viewing, and it happens this time of year because this is when the Sakura trees bloom out, and they bloom out for a couple of weeks, and then the petals just fall off and looks a lot like snow. It's very connected to Japanese culture. If you've seen almost anything, had any sort of interest in Japanese culture, you've probably seen these sakura petals, sakura flowers depicted. And the sakura trees are kind of admired for their short-term beauty in that way. It's very, very connected to the culture, as around this time, people will have Hanami parties. Friends, schools from school will go out and, to the park, and if you're of drinking age, drink. If not, just picnic. People just kind of come and gather and have these little picnics under the trees, and even different companies will set up Hanami parties to go out into the park and participate and just relax, have a good time, and everyone in the company getting together and enjoying themselves. I've been to one about 7 years ago in Tokyo in Yoyogi Park. I was at the YouTuber Hanami party, and it was neat to see a lot of the big Japanese vlogging YouTubers at that time and interact with them and just talk. There was Tikio-san was there, Tokyo Kuni. Those were the two big ones that I knew, and there were several others there, everyone having their cameras and recording and putting up vlogs, but that was interesting to be there for that. Also around this time, you'll see a lot of cherry blossom flavored like snacks and drinks and teas, and just start popping up around this time, similar to pumpkin spice kind of popping up around fall. Right around this time, the cherry blossom flavored stuff will start popping up. Anything pop culture related, and somewhere you'll find cherry blossoms appearing. I was thinking of this. The thing that really had me nailed on talking about this was a line that Ken Watanabe's character Katsumoto says in the movie The Last Samurai. The perfect blossom is a rare thing. You could spend your entire life looking for one, and it would not be wasted. Later on in the scene, he has another line that references the cherry blossoms, saying, we are all dying like these blossoms. And that comes, part of the symbolism of the cherry blossoms is just how quickly the petals fall off and they're gone, and they represent spring very much, and they're connected with good times because of all of the events and festivities that go on around the Hanami viewing, but they also have a connection to how fleeting life can be and how quickly it can pass without us even realizing it. And I was thinking about that because, it just seems like they were in bloom, and Now whenever I go out, they're no longer on the trees anymore. They're not even hardly on the ground anymore. They're already, just completely gone. And at the end of the movie, close to the end of the movie, Katsumoto continues on this thought of these cherry blossoms and says, perfect. They are all perfect. Kind of coming to realize that, there's not this one cherry blossom that is perfect. And, in fact, all of the cherry blossoms are perfect. And I find that very poetic, as a poem should be, I guess. But, this idea that not one individual thing stands out and is perfect and better than all the rest around them. It's this idea that just being able to, just existing, kind of, you are in and of yourself perfect in your own way. And I feel like that can really say something, like, because nowadays a lot of people like to put others up on a pedestal and talk about how great they are, or people will have doubts in themselves, in their own abilities, what they can do, what they can accomplish, and think things like, well, it would be great if I could do that, but I'm not good enough to do that. But in this idea, you're looking for the perfect cherry blossom, and you're not seeing yourself as that perfect cherry blossom, but in fact, you are perfect as you are. Just existing, I would say just existing and putting forth the effort is admirable in and of itself. And I've had, struggles with thinking whether or not I'm good enough at something or good enough to try something. And that's something that I deal with every once in a while. Just self-confidence issues are kind of my biggest issues, but that line does kind of speak to me and makes me feel a little better. That's kind of just what I wanted to talk about, was the cherry blossoms and their connection to Japanese society and this sort of philosophies that you can think about when viewing these things that are here. They bloom out, they're very beautiful while they're here, and then 2 weeks later they're just completely gone. So that'll be it for this video. I will try to get another one out in a couple of weeks, and there's actually a second kind of series I would like to do. I've been doing these 87 rabbits in Japan, this being the second one. I would kind of like to have those focused just on my thoughts and vlogging and talking about Japan and experiences here. I would like to do a second video series about something else of mine that I'm interested in, and that is tabletop role-playing games, or TRPGs. And I will create kind of another little series to go about that, and would like to use that just kind of talk about thoughts on tabletop role-playing games. And there's also a game that I'm running, I'm the game master of, and I would like to kind of just maybe once every week or every 2 weeks just kind of give a rundown of what happened in the last game that we did. And so be looking for that. And until next time, matane.